So I want to shift over and hear a bit about your retail strategy, because I think when Soylent started and for a while it was just e-commerce only. And then I think I saw you guys getting into retail. So tell me about what that shift has looked like.
This is the first company I've worked with where we went from online to brick and mortar. Everybody else is going the other way. We're still largely an online company. 80% of our revenues are online. I think it's very interesting to see how you can take the knowledge from your online consumer, and then you need to shift it a little bit, and you need to understand it better, and then apply that knowledge to a retailer. And then you need to have the experience of working with retailers to be able to influence them in a certain way. I think for us, one thing that has really worked is one of our pillars is around affordability, including nutrition, to those that cannot curate it themselves. So our first big retailer was Walmart, and most CPG brands go first to Whole Foods. And then they do investor decks which show, oh, we charge 30% more for the same product, and we do all that. We did the opposite. We went to Walmart, and we're proud that we have not increased prices, and we're squeezing the price as low as possible, and that we're competitive actually with animal proteins versus just competitive against plant-based proteins. And I think that has resonated, and I think people understand that. So that's number one. I think second thing that has really helped us is patience. Again, I've come, and you go to any growing CPG company and they try to grow as fast everywhere as possible. And we have chosen not to do that. It's dangerous to do. It's expensive. So what we said is we're going to develop these playbooks with retailers and then take those playbooks and apply them to the new retailers. And that takes a little bit more time. But what that does for you is you're creating a pull type of consumption versus push type of consumption. For example, our discounting and our promotional rate is 3 times less than our plant-based competitors today, and we're getting the same growth rates. And for us, this is a more sustainable way to grow. It's slower, but it's more sustainable way to grow because we are driven by consumers choosing us versus us pushing our product onto them. And we have seen the success with as we onboard new retailers that we're trying to do. And some of them take longer, some of them take shorter. It's great. We just launched in Publix late last year, and we are on our maybe third wave of expanding our selection with them. And it's because they like the product, they like the messaging, they like what it does on the shelf. I think we generate something like more than 80% of their growth from new products. Yeah, the product is good. Yeah, the branding is good. But we also know how to work now with a big retailer and be a good partner to them. And I think that's a key to do and the key to success in retail. And it's worked out. So we're the largest plant-based in Walmart, which is the largest retailer in the country. We're continuing to expand. So we do very well in Target. And we're now kind of going into the rest of the big retailers with our story. We launched, as I mentioned, Publix. So we have a great relationship with Rite Aid, with CVS. So we're continuing to kind of build on those and see where it can go.
Yeah. I mean, when you were saying earlier about being a good partner with these retailers, what are maybe the top 3 things that you all do that delights these retailers, or they're, excited to work with you?
I think we help them do a good product selection. Like we don't go and say, oh, I have 7 products, you need to get them all. We go and say, listen, these 5 are going to work for you. And let's start with that. Or we say those 2 are going to work for you. We also try to influence as much as we can product placement and the number of products we do. For example, if you go on a retail shelf and there's only one bottle of a certain product, chances of you picking it up are low. If there is 3 or 4 of them and they form a brand log, it's much easier for the consumers to discover it and pick it up in the store. So we always try to work with that. So sometimes we actually say no to retailers because we know we're going to fail. So why do it, right? It's going to help you for 2-3 months, but then it just creates all kinds of issues down the road. And then I would say the last thing is we do bring our digital footprint and we do bring our digital knowledge to kind of surround the consumer and help them out, right? So there's a number of communication opportunities to create with consumers. Sometimes it's harder to do for a retail consumer because they're more scattered or they're using it in a different way or whatnot. But I believe that we are good at kind of creating this ecosystem around the retailer for us to be able to say, hey, did you know that Soylent is here? Did you know that you can buy there? And I think one of the reasons that we can do that is we are truly an omnichannel company. So we actually don't subsidize channels, as I mentioned. We don't do kind of dumb deals just to be in place. So for us, if you go to Walmart and buy a product there, we're happy. If you buy it in Publix, you're happy. If you buy it on Amazon, we're happy. If you buy it on our home site, we're even happier. But for us, it's from a financial and consumer point of view, we're agnostic of where consumers go. So we actually very heavily promote our retail partners. We send consumers there. We encourage people to shop wherever they are versus wherever we want them to be. And I think that really helps.
When you were shifting from e-commerce to being in retailers, did you have to change the packaging, or were there certain updates you had to make it fit within a retail strategy?
We did a new format for retail. So we created a little 4-pack of 11-ounce bottles versus a 14-ounce bottle, which is a bigger volume. We did change a little bit the packaging. We tried to not steer too far away from traditional Soylent, which is very clean, very distinctive. We did some product call-outs, like flavor call-outs and things like that. And now we're getting into developing different packaging formats driven by retailer demand. So we are continuing to work on product packaging. And actually, 2 years ago, I created a brand new, we have our, what we call a complete meal product line, which is what you remember from the old days. And it's still the one that is kind of the mainstream for us. And then we created 2 new products, which are called Complete Protein and Complete Energy. So what they do is they allow you to modify some of the macros in the product to really fit your lifestyle. So if you require more protein or more healthy fats,
which I think is most people. Like most people need more protein. Most people probably need more fat, I think.
Exactly. So we did that. And then we lowered the carbs a little bit to make it more appealing. And we removed all the sugar. With zero sugar, high protein, high fat content, low carbs, and we created different packaging. You should totally try.
I will. I'm in now.
I will sign.
Okay, that's awesome.
And then we created the same one for energy. We said, hey, people are looking for protein. They're looking for energy boost. And so we created a clean one. So it has a little bit of caffeine, but it also has a bunch of what we call brain boosters, which essentially offsets the jitteriness of caffeine, but it still gives you this natural boost and it delivers all the protein that you need. So kind of combining a breakfast with your morning coffee. So we're starting to move into these directions. And now with those, we actually created completely different packaging, which is 100% retail directed. You got to be where consumer is and you got to communicate in the way that consumer understands it.
Hey, thanks for watching. This segment was made possible by our friends at Salesforce Commerce Cloud. If you're looking for the #1 platform for all your commerce needs, go check out salesforce.com/commerce. And don't forget to subscribe below and tap that little bell icon so you can stay on top of all the amazing new segments and full episodes that we'll be putting out over the coming year with some of the best and most influential commerce leaders out there.